Why did no T-Rail's not a snake. I don't believe T-Rail's a snake. Nietzsche Beats, thank you for the 2. He says, why are J. Cole and Drake not doing stadiums? Thank you for that comment. I'm going to get to the Drake thing right after this, but let me play this guy, and I'm sorry I cut this topic to read the donations, but I had to. Let me play this guy right here. He's breaking down the bus shooting, okay? He's breaking down the bus shooting with Lil Wayne and Young Thug and everybody.
Regarding my client in particular, I know that Mr. Stillwell, I know that you indicated on, I think it was Cross, that you had spoken to him in a custodial setting before regarding the murder of Tierra Jones.
Yes, he was a victim in that case.
Right. But he was in jail on.
He wasn't in jail. He was in the hospital.
Okay.
When Tierra Jones was shot and killed, they were attempting to shoot your client. And when the vehicle flipped over, I think he had a fractured rib. And we interviewed him as well as his baby mother, Shakoya Duncan, at the hospital. And then subsequently, Detective Griffin with our homicide unit, who was the lead on the Tierra Jones murder case, interviewed him, and we assisted in that interview.
So you're referring to the interview that was captured on audio tape?
Correct.
Okay. Other than that interview at the hospital captured on audio tape, did you have any conversations in the community with Mr. Stillwell?
I think myself, and Marissa Viverito talked to him at his...
Okay, give me a second. I want to get to the shit. I don't want to waste your time. Here we go.
He didn't know is I have an undercover page. I basically follow him on my page.
Oh, shit.
I
Hold
was
up.
years old. I think my first extra job was a T.I. video shoot, and Mr. Winfrey used to walk on his tippy toes, bouncing around. And the night of the Lil Wayne bus shooting, he actually came and gave me a hug. And because, how you doing? You good to see you? You all right? Yeah. And then as the night transpired, while pulling traffic, and once things started to break out, I also saw Walter Murphy, who I didn't know at the time, take a gun out of his waistband and put it on the tires of Mr. Williams' sister, Green Explorer. And when he put the gun on the tire, I took another individual and pushed him into Mr. Murphy, and Mr. Murphy took off running. Mr. Williams' sister basically said, why the hell is the police pointing the gun at me? And I showed her the gun that was in my possession. And then everyone started scattering. I then saw Quindarius Zachary, or Sick D, and I said, Mr. Zachary, you might want to go.
Chat, do you notice how much detail, and his memory is very vivid, and he knows these guys by government name and street name, and he's basically saying, I'm in the mix, I'm dapping these niggas up. They're saying this guy is the nigga who gonna send Thugger to jail or to prison.
Go home. And he said, you don't know me. I said, the last 4 of your social is this, your date of birth is this, your mother is this. Do you want me to keep going? He said, I'm gone. Then as we started pulling traffic, another officer told me to stop traffic, so the white Camaro stopped the white Camaro. I wasn't jumping in front of a car. He hit the gas. As the car took off, we started getting reports from the security inside the club that stayed behind that the bus is being shot on 285. We were concerned with the 2 officers that escorted the bus on motorcycles. As we began to call them, they pulled back up at the location.
At the time that you got out of the way, I guess, or
Got out the way for my own safety, yes.
Got out the way of the white Camaro? You were able to see who was in the white Camaro?
It was Jimmy Winfrey.
Okay. Just Jimmy Winfrey?
That I saw. And another officer indicated that he had a stick on the seat. A stick is slang for an assault rifle.
All right. Who was that officer?
Officer Finney.
All right. And I understand that you were a fact witness in that case. I guess my question is, were you also involved in the Cobb County charging decisions in that case?
I was not. Cobb County, we knew that Cobb County didn't know what was going on. Once again, it goes back to if we didn't get involved in this case, Cobb County thinks it's just a bus being shot up, not knowing that the players involved are involved in this other investigation that's going on. What happened is, after we got off, the next morning I watched TMZ like everybody else, and they said a white Corvette pulled up on the side of the bus and shot up the bus. And I said, wait a minute, a Corvette and a Camaro looks very similar. What Mr. Winfrey didn't know is I have an undercover page. I basically follow him on my page. I went and looked on his page, and he just got a brand new Z28 Camaro. I screenshotted it. I reached out to the Zone 2 commander and said, who's working the bus shooting? Because I thought...
Yeah, Thug going to prison. Thug going to prison. Then this nigga got his fake page popping. He chilling. Thug going to prison.
I've seen him do it.
Thug going to prison, bro.
I've seen him do it.
Man, I fell down to my knees when the law came.
Yo, Thug gonna fall out to the knees when he realized the cop was following him on a fake page. Somebody said that ain't Thug though. You're not understanding what I'm saying. This guy's an expert witness. He's only testifying to one particular thing. He's qualifying himself to be entered as a expert witness. By the way, he spoke earlier about the beef between Young Thug and Nut, Inglewood Mafia family, and the sex, money, murder, YSL guys. And he basically said Rich Homie Quan getting signed caused all of this, right? And he's saying Rich Homie Quan being in the middle of this caused tensions to rise and the guy to die. That's what he's going to testify in court too. So him being spot on here is doing a good job to get him qualified. He's going to go in court and say, yeah, Young Thug was doing shit to beef with these guys. It was based on music, but also there were gang ties in it. What is this? A gang RICO. Niggas is going to prison.
Thought it was on us. He said, well, it's on Cobb County. Put me in touch with the detective, Detective Racy. And that's how the relationship was formed.
Okay, but so once that relationship was formed, did you work alongside Detective Racy?
Oh, most definitely.
It's Racine, right?
Racy.
Racy, okay. I know how it's spelled, I just don't know how it's spelled.
Racine is in Wisconsin.
All right, so once you were involved with Detective Racy, were you involved in the charging decisions at that point?
No, we didn't. There are different jurisdictions. We can't dictate to them what to charge. All we did is assisted in identifying. I only knew Mr. Winfrey as Pee Wee or Roscoe. I didn't know his government name. And so when we got to work, my partner basically dug until she found his government name. And once she found his government name, we then found out that he was on probation, reached out to his probation officer, and she said, I'll call him in right now. And we met at the probation office when Mr. Winfrey showed up. And when Mr. Winfrey showed up and he looked and saw us we were in a rental car, a Chrysler 300. He looked and he said, oh, can I curse?
Yes.
He said, oh, fuck. Because he saw me and he knew that I was there and he knew that I knew what happened. And he immediately went in his pocket and took out $200 and slapped fives with me. And I looked at my hand and I said, what's this? I don't get down like that. And he said, man, I know I was tripping the other night. And at that point, I knew that he was going to jail because he just pretty much told on himself. And if you ever find my file, it's a file with $200 in an envelope in the back of it.
I don't believe I have any further questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
And
The training.
Then there was
Or
another
more.
moment.
Okay.
I think
Killing them. That fraternity.
have roots in the blood gang.
Yes.
And with Mr. Thomas being, you said second or third in command, or did I miss that?
Yes, I did.
Was that, my question is, was that the entire time, or did that rise to power over?
That part I don't know.
How about we ask it the other way? On January 10th, 2015, was that his position?
Yes.
As far as you knew?
Yes.
Okay. And what type of crimes is IF gang committing?
Drug dealing, shootings, robbing, so forth. They basically had a stronghold on Summerhill, Old Fourth Ward, or anywhere where they operated. They pretty much had a stronghold on it.
And you said on your direct examination today to have you qualified, I believe, that IF gang and YSL, you identified them in your opinion as a criminal street gang,
Yes.
were rivals.
Yes.
If I misstated that, I'm not trying to.
Yes.
Okay. What caused them to be rivals? If you know, and if you don't know, you got to say, I don't know.
I have a general idea of what caused them to be rivals.
And I also want to know the background of it.
In the summer of 2014, YSL, If Gang, and everyone was one big happy blood family. During that time, there became friction between those in those gangs, which started severing the ties. And some of it had something to do with the music, because Nut basically became smart. He learned that instead of just selling drugs, I could put money behind some of the artists and basically receive a percentage of what they make, okay? When that happened, he, with the power in which he already had from his street ties, he then started becoming a mover and shaker in the music world here in Atlanta and helping up-and-coming artists basically get on. And so in 2014, when...
Can I interrupt you a second? And
Go ahead.
I'm not trying to cut your train of thought. Is that through TIG?
Say that again?
Is that through TIG?
Record label? Yes, he had a close relationship with Fly, who basically is the owner of TIG record label.
Okay. And TIG this is not a game?
Think it's a game.
Think it's a game. Thank you. Sorry. And continue. And if you don't remember where you were, I can...
And so in 2014...
Yo, you see, this is a dangerous nigga right here. You see, he laughing like, nah, nigga, I'm on my square. I'm on my square.
2014, the rift began not only between KC and his rival, Mr. Watts. As their own inner beef started to occur, there was other rumblings through Nut and Mr. Williams in reference to the signing of Rich Homie Quan.
Can I stop you a minute?
Go ahead.
Is KC with any, in your belief, any type of gang at that time? Is he affiliated with?
Yes.
Who is KC affiliated with?
YSL.
Okay, and we're talking about summer 2014.
Yes.
And how about Mr. Watts?
He's half brother to Mr. Thomas.
So is that to take it that he's with IF?
Yes.
I don't mean to presume. Okay. And is Mr. Watts also a high-ranking member like you denoted Mr. Thomas?
I would say yes. He's more of Mr. Watts.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this level of detail in this.
I felt that I moved on with my life. I don't live here.
The Honorable Prosecutor, it says on your State's Exhibit 2B.
Okay. All right. We'll leave it here. There's going to be much more analysis. Remember that the case hasn't, or the trial hasn't officially started. These are preliminary hearings and motions that are kind of worked out. They're going to figure out what evidences could be admitted. We know that 17 lyrics will be admitted into court. We do know that they're qualifying experts that will be able to take the stand, that both the prosecutor and also the defense attorneys will be able to, do direct and crosses on. And there's a few more things being figured out. Remember, there's about like 6 people on trial at this point, 6 or 7. It started out with I felt like it was 18 or maybe like 20 something. It's whittled down. A lot of people have got removed. A lot of people have gotten severed. A lot of people have taken pleas. And by the way, interestingly enough, there's another person who took a plea recently. This is crazy. A nigga took a plea who I didn't think was going to take a plea. Let me see if I can see. No. Okay, where can I find it? Right here. I think this.
Mr. Mountain, guilty or not, affiliation with the Nas through a marijuana. Smith were also able to plea. Do you understand that you have only a limited right to appeal this guilty plea conviction? Do you understand that you have only 4 years from today's date for the felony charges to file a habeas corpus petition challenging the voluntariness of this guilty plea? Yes. Your Honor, had this case proceeded to trial, the state of Georgia would have proved beyond a reasonable doubt that in late 2012, within the Cleveland Avenue area of Atlanta, Georgia, that YSL, who claimed affiliation with the National Blood Gang, was formed. The founders of that organization were Jeffrey Williams, also known as Young Thug, also known as Slime, Walter Murphy, also known as DK, and Trontavia Stevens, also known as Tick or Slut.
So, chat, I'm going to tell you why this is interesting. Oh, what the fuck? Sorry, y'all. I'm going to tell you why this is interesting. Watch this, chat. So this guy right here, right? You might not recognize his face, but he's finally taking a plea. As soon as they picked the jury, he said, I'm out of here. Remember this. Judge shocked YSL plea. Remember there was a couple niggas who, they were like, nah, they ain't taking a plea? Did you see one of those faces here? The guy who just took the plea now? Remember, there was two niggas who was like this guy on the left. I think he's still in the game, but the guy on the right. Remember I told you he looked like he was worried the whole time.
She has not put that on record for.
Sentence provided, and that offer will also conclude today, Your Honor.
All right.
See, so he said no. Then there was the other guy. Remember, he took the plea. This old guy here, and then there was this other guy. The judge.
You got a lot to think about.
See?
So I'll give you a few more minutes to ponder that. Because that is, when they file a recidivist notice, they have basically, in poker terms, they've called. Like, what do you want to do? So, I'll let you think about that and you can let me.
He basically said no. Then this guy.
As provided on record, Your Honor. However, Mr. Beebe would ask the court if the court would hear a non-negotiated plea as to the indictment.
I would.
If that's the case, Judge, Mr. Beebe would then ask if he does not agree with Your Honor's sentence, would the court allow him to withdraw the plea and proceed to trial?
I need to think about that for just a second, okay?
Understood.
Just give me a minute, okay? But yes, that's more than fine.
Thank you.
Mr. Beebe, you got the same kind of same discussion I had with Mr. With Mr. Mender applies to you, but
Yeah, you could have seen in his eyes, man. He wanted to go home from here.
let me just get back with you in just a second, okay? Mr. Stevens, where are you?
Forgive me, Judge.
All right.
Okay. So he didn't take a plea. This was 10 months ago. But looky here.
Mr. Beebe,
My man has
what
taken,
happened to
he has taken a plea now. I'll see what he got. He basically was sentenced to 5 to 10 years in prison. Oh, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison with 10 years probation following his release. Oh, so I think he was locked up for a while though. So he's going to get out soon. But he pretty much ducked trial, which would probably have gotten him most likely 15 to 20 if he gets found guilty. You get what I mean? So he took the 5 and took the probation and just kind of dipped out of there. Remember, the person who allegedly they're not giving no pleas to is the one they know as the guy who be in the shadows, King Slime. So they're not giving this nigga no type of pleas. Let me see if you show Doug. Where's Doug at? Yeah, there you go. I won't lie, man. Thug be looking like Sexy Red more and more every day. Damn. All right. Cool. What did I say I was gonna get to right after that? I said I was gonna get to something right after that. Okay. J. Cole and Drake. We're gonna touch on that in a second. I gotta do